we are back. We're playing Pixelmon with extra mods, because why not?
Right.
Currently, I am building a rooftop hangout, because I have umbrellas, and why not?
Who wouldn't want a rooftop hangout? I mean, that's what we're looking for in a new. This is a rooftop hangout.
I mean, can't blame you.
We also want to live in a basement. So basically, we're going for a house.
Yes. Oh,
But
it's
yeah,
gone
I
already.
mean,
See, every time I find a wormhole, the bloody thing disappears before I can go through it.
war hormones aren't real according to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, I'm not a physicist, so.
Well, he is. I'm going to listen to him.
Well, you know what? When there's a big thing hanging out, when the sky has a butthole. Oh God, a diglet.
Diggly dig, diggly dig.
Run away.
He's glitched into the system.
Well, I also had a twitch, so
I guess.
I have a lot of twitches sometimes. So what did we do between episodes?
Yeah.
We planted more apricorns. So yay.
Okay.
We finally got enough to where we can make our first set of Pokeballs, which now I think we can make a set of Ultra Balls also. Insert giggity joke right here. Balls. Yeah, so let's throw these here apricorns in that there cooker.
So I'm going to say something.
You already did.
Well, it goes off stuff random. So, and this is for the males out there. This is for all the dads out there watching this with their kids.
Why?
Get yourself some ball deodorant. That shit is legit. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait, they make that?
Ball deodorant? Yeah.
Whoa.
So like today it was extremely hot and I was outside most of the day, which is why I'm irritable. My balls didn't sweat at all. It was nice and cool. It wasn't that weird like fungus smell that you normally get.
Yeah, the swall smell. The smell, as they call it.
Yes.
I don't care for swalls. Nobody cares for swalls. Swalls are bad.
Well, then get yourself some ball
I
deodorant.
didn't know they made that. I was thinking about that today too.
It's like a lotion that you put on after a shower. You just rub it with your hand. You just put it on. It works like a charm. I'm not gonna lie. Manscaped, please sponsor us. I got mine from Manscaped.
Ball deodorant, dude. I'm upset now.
Yeah, it's from Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Yeah, I got the whole spiel, a whole shebang bang.
A whole shebang bang.
Yeah, it's just something. Shut up. It's actually very comfortable. It makes you feel special. So if you get like their elite package, it's like $100. You get their trimmer, you get their nose thing, you get like a body razor, you get ball deodorant, you get aftercare, you get like a lotion. They take care of you, dude. And I got that the other day, and I'm just like, this is the greatest invention of all time.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not even lying. Ball deodorant. I'm not kidding. It's just like better than sliced bread. I'd rather have ball deodorant than sliced bread. Just say, you're welcome. So then go out there, say you heard it from Derp and Oak Gaming. So we can be like, hey, yo.
Put in promo code Derp and Oak and nothing will happen.
We'll make it 20% off.
I wish. Okay, if we ever get a sponsor, it's gonna be like great day.
It's gonna be a great day. We just gotta work hard on it.
Gotta get one of them YouTube partnership things.
I was like looking at like when you upload it, like promotions and stuff. Like you can put in your own stuff.
I mean, you can, but
I was gonna like make it like a TCG store and like sell my magic cards on there and like offer like 10% off. If you do like Derp and Oak Gaming 10 or something like that. Kind of like what it's similar to what Jim Davis does with Cool Stuff Inc. and like .com. Basically, you put in like 10 like you put in Gem 5 and he'll send you like a free token with his autograph and stuff.
yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's a like a goblin token that he made himself, and he will sign it for every order.
That's a lot.
It is, but he loves his fans. I'm not saying we need to do that, but it's just something similar.
Now we got love balls.
Love ball, baby, love ball. That sounds familiar. What is it?
It's because it's a little bit like Love Shack. We have love balls, we have dusk balls, and we have a ultra ball. So now we can go catch something.
Go catch that giant Godzilla looking monster.
We can't catch those. They
Nope.
don't catch.
Not
They're like a
bunny.
Victoria's Secret model. We can't catch those.
Also, kids and males, don't go after like the perfect woman. Go after the woman that puts up with your shit. You'll be happier, I promise.
It's just a bonus if she's like uber pretty.
Yeah, but other than that, looks
Here's
on
the
everything.
thing: beauty is temporary, because everybody's going to be old and saggy someday.
I agree.
So why torture yourself?
I agree. I agree. Like go with somebody that's
We can catch a Q-Fant.
Let's go catch the elephant.
Get the toot toot.
Gotta get the toot toot.
What happened to the toot? Where's toot toot? Toot toot. Where did it go? Did it despawn? We're not catching a Diglett. The thing will probably kill us all. Staravia.
It's the hawk thing. I forgot what they're called.
The Staravia. I saw it. There it is. It's a toot toot. Toot
Get the
toot.
toot toot.
Toot toot. Go in the ball. Now stay. We did it. We have a toot toot. Toot toot. Yay. And we can't name it, sadly. Damn.
We're gonna name it Toot Toot.
We would have named it Toot Toot.
The Toot Duo.
Oh, that's a nope rope right there. See? Nope rope. Oh my god, a water type.
That's crazy.
We need you. Hi, you. Just get in the ball. It's the worst in Pokemon Go.
God, there, Oak. You have a problem there, bro?
Yeah. My choodle's a little too big for the ball. Okay.
That's what every baby said ever.
My choodle's a little too big for the ball?
Yeah, because you basically break out of the egg.
It's kind of like a chest burster. So my cousin is pregnant at the moment. And
My condolences.
that's what I said to her, and she didn't think it was funny. But so apparently, and this is not like brand new knowledge to me, but I forget that it happens. The kid is dislocating her ribs.
What?
Like it's kicking hard enough to break some ribs.
Jiggly puff. Get the jiggly puff. Get jiggly puff.
No.
Get
No.
Get the jiggly puff. Get the jiggly puff.
I threw a ball. It broke.
It's a Jigglypuff.
No.
It's a Jigglypuff.
How about a Whooper? It's cute. And
You know what else
derpy.
is cute? Okay, that's fair.
Whooper.
He sounds adorable.
Get over here.
He sounds cute.
Whooper. Get in the ball.
Whooper.
Now stay. Nope. It's right there.
Where'd
You ran away. Jerk.
Go
Fine.
get him.
I didn't want to play with you anyway.
You should get the fairy dog thing.
Snubble? Why?
It's a fairy dog.
Granbles aren't like super. I mean, there was a time. Well, kind of. Granbles used to be super good. It's a
Silicobra.
Silicobra. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's a snake.
It's a nope rope, bro.
That's a big nope rope
Silicobra.
with a run hood. Because when it hoods up, I'm running.
It's a run hood. It's a run hood. Stupid.
Why can't I switch? Ah, it's got sand trap. No, I don't like sand trap. That is astonishing. I don't want to play. Go away, Diglett. Oh, 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 oh. We're out. No, no. Oh, wait. Now we have to. Now we have to. Jerk. Water gun. Take that. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, like that.
You're so cute when you're upset.
Well, it's just I've been getting harassed by these GD Diglets. Now, and I'm sick of it. Choodle, you are my counter to all Diglets.
You are the Choodle.
Oh, great. There's a snake in my house.
There's a snake in my house.
It's kind of like when Woody had a snake in his boot. Okay, let's go to bed. It's important to go to bed.
Silicobra.
Cobra.
That's just
I
a
heard-
rope with a run hood.
Silicobra.
That's probably how we would sound if we were Pokemon. To be entirely honest.
So. There. Bear, 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 bear.
There is a Go-Go, and they sound like that. At least they did in the anime.
So what Pokemon would you be? Be honest. Honestly, I would
Probably a
be-
Steel and Psychic type, so Metagross?
I'll be a
Silicobra.
Snorlax because I'm fat and ugly. And I'm tired all the time.
But you don't gorge yourself.
Silicobra.
Speaking of, I'm eating Triscuit crackers. The roasted garlic ones are bomb.
Terrorist.
Silicobra. Silicobra.
Is that a Dunsparce?
Yeah.
Okay, this is one Pokemon they should have done something with. It does nothing. Like, that's all it does.
I would have been a Dunsparce.
Welcome to the cave.
Welcome to the cave there, guy.
Oh my gosh, a Nidoran.
Go get it.
I don't... Need a queen? Maybe. Maybe. No Starlies. Starlies are annoying. And they aren't that good.
job. Okay. So how do you heal? You just eat, or
Yeah, so you get your hunger back up, and there's a saturation level that you don't get to see, where you would. Hey, look, coal. That lets you heal.
so I want to talk about toxic masculinity.
Okay.
What is your what is toxic masculinity to you? I'll tell you mine when you tell me.
Okay, so not super educated on the topic, so this is just me. God, freaking. So this is just my side of limited knowledge. It's like when you use your gender, particularly male, to be a bad or toxic person to another.
Toxic masculinity saying a male has to act a certain way because society's
Is that what it is?
yes. Okay, let's say we're going to use us for example. So let's say we're married and you're a female. I go out, hang out with the guys.
Thanks, Dad.
I go out and hang out with the guys.
Okay.
I go like, hey, you should go out hanging with your girls, right?
Yeah.
But she says no because she says something along the lines of, you love your friends more than me. Something along the lines of that. Because like, not my past relationship, but my past relationships. That's the way it always was. It's like, hey, you can go hang out with your friends, but I won't make you feel like crap when you get home because you're taking some time to yourself. You're not spending time with the kids, even though I'm working two jobs. I'm taking care. I got insurance for everybody in the house. But when I want to go hang out with my friends, you know what I mean? It's a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's like what society wants us to be. It's what I'm saying. Like,
is that what it is? I don't know if it's that. I think it's if you go, this is how a man has to be.
Yeah.
But not like society.
Yeah, that's one. Apparently, I'm stupid in this type like explaining things. You guys will figure it.
I don't know, man. I see. Here's the thing. I studied government and crap in school. I didn't. I took a sociology class, and half of it, I'm just sitting there going, "What the hell kind of commie bullshit is this?" Which is ironic because I'm a socialist.
By the way, we're socialists, so
Yeah. What's the difference between a socialist and a communist?
nothing.
Wrong.
Wait.
Socialists say the system's going to fail. And when it does, here's what we need to do. Communists say the system sucks, so we need to change it now.
What's the difference? It's basically the same thing.
No. So instead of saying the world sucks, they say the world sucks, but when it starts to suck really bad is when we can actually do something. They accept the reality that capitalism does not endure forever.
Like, you get the U.S. We're capital, and it's going on.
Is there a thing like toxic capitalism?
Korea?
I don't know. But here's the thing. So, in our town, they just built a Gold Star Family Memorial. There's an entire section of this memorial dedicated solely to the purpose of on like blowing the people who helped pay for it. Now, I'm not saying if you help pay for something, you should get credit, but like a whole freaking tablet of this memorial is just people saying, "Hey, we paid for this." I don't know. I'm one of those that if you're gonna do something like that, you don't need your name on it because the cause that you're doing speaks more than what you were doing.
For that. So my thing is, religion's a big trigger for me. Mainly because it was used against me when I was growing up. Mainly organized religion. Organized religion, Christianity, Catholicism, that type of thing. My thing is, you shouldn't have to pay to go worship your deity.
I don't think that's how it is. I think it's more of a. It's not like you have to pay. It's a if you can, that helps us keep the building.
But at the end, you really don't need to like pay anything.
You really don't, because in theory, if there's a god or what have you that gives a crap, they should manage that crap on their own.
I agree.
In
Awesome.
theory.
You want to know something else why I'm against organized religion?
People use it to hurt others.
That, and if they would have paid taxes, we'd be out of debt by now.
Well, yeah. You could also say if the rich people pay taxes, we can have it too. And we can't really blame all the world's problems on rich people.
Well, it's not. But
Can we say, hey, if these guys actually paid the taxes they were supposed to, we'd have more money to do things? Sure.
But yeah, the reason why I'm against organized religion is because I remember being sat down on my couch when I was 8 years old. This is when my brother. Tell you later. My brother's very, very anti everything. So he's like, he's wicked. Basically,
Okay.
solely fact that Christians hate women. That. Anyway. So my stepdad went to a Christian church, like a Southern Baptist church, like Yeehaw, derpa 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 type stuff.
Okay.
And two deacons came over and sat me on the couch and terrified the word of God. Like terrified.
Oh, they did the brimstone and.
Yeah, that whole holy fire, like it's special fire, so you don't.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie, I was a little shit when I was growing up.
Okay.
Love you, Sid. You got your little shit from Dad. I'm sorry. Anyway. But anyway, and I was like, and I fell for it, so I was baptized to the Southern, and always felt wrong. Like I just, it's just wrong.
Okay.
And I had questions, such as, why does the church need all this money? Why can't we treat people with respect? Why can't we just give the money to charities? That type of thing. Like, why does God need money? All this stuff. And there's a lot more, but that might get into like a little too R-rated for the kiddies. But my brother just found out about this, and he physically attacked stepdad. Second, he scared me. Those guys scared me, and that's how I think most is. Hey, you know, if you don't do this, then this is going to happen. It's basically based on some no evidence backing it up.
Yeah. Fair.
You're 8 years old, and someone's telling you terrified.
You're cutting out a little bit on my side.
So anyway, but you're terrified. Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, my mic was away. I was chewing something.
Fair.
Anyway. That's why I'm against organized realism. They use terror to recruit.
See, that's not how the LDS do it.
No, they just straight manipulation.
Well, no, kind of. There's more to it than that.
Always more to it than that. That's pretty much what
So
it boils
it's not
down.
like straight manipulation. They do the whole, if you want, it's not even, I don't know if it's like a terror campaign or something, but they do the whole, like, if you do X, you can see your family in heaven, because the gods, the LDS god, or whatever you want to phrase it, seals families together in their temples, and you, in order to be sealed in the temple, you have to follow the word of God to close enough to get into the temple to get a recommend.
Right?
Which, by the way, you can lie your ass off and get one of those, because I did it.
Way to go, Eric. Way to
well-
go, Oak. You ruined the LDS faith. Good job, bro.
Well, see,
Proud.
and this is where it's like God got back at me, because we were doing baptisms for the dead, because that's not weird at all. By the way, I used to be very LDS.
Like,
So
you
we were
gotta-
doing baptisms for the dead, and I started having a nosebleed in the font.
Okay. Is this where you realize LDS is BS?
No. How that happened was I had a friend who is an anti-theist,
That's right.
and
I remember you telling me about that.
and he asked me 5 questions, and he said, if you can answer these, I will leave you alone. Okay, cool. So I asked him. I don't remember what they are anymore, but I couldn't answer them. And then I took the questions to the local missionaries, and they couldn't answer them. And he went, are you done trying to answer the question yet? And I went, sure. Do you know the answer? And he went, nope, no one can know the answer. And after that, I was like, okay, cool. I honest to God don't remember what it was.
My thing is,
I think it had something to do with abortion.
or why is abortion okay, not okay, or something like
Something like that. It was like, why would a god be pissed about abortion when he did the same thing, basically?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Repeatedly?
So, on that, I'm pro-choice. I've always been pro-choice, like ever since I was like 10. I was just like pro-choice, 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 because it's your own body, and to a certain extent, you should control your own body. I mean, like if you're in a coma and you can't say anything, that's one thing. But if you're just like,
Well, that's what living wills are for, because you can
okay,
be
well, yeah,
dead in a coma,
point.
and they have to follow what that paper says.
Well, good point. Good point. I didn't
That's
think
why
of
you
that.
should have a living will.
That's a very good point. It's a very valid point. But my thing is pro-choice. That goes both ways, right? So if a man's free to do with what he wants to with his own body, why can't women?
Okay, so here's my stance on it. If I was a female, which I am not, obviously,
Shut up. There you are.
would it be something I would do? No.
Okay.
But because I don't want to do it, does that mean anybody else in the world shouldn't? No.
Well, that's your choice, and that's perfectly
But that's the
fine.
thing. That's the whole idea of choice.
Yeah.
And like, if you ask the LDS, that's what the war in heaven was about, was agency. Like, angels went to war over whether or not we have choice.
I think, and I'm the whole abortion thing is really irritating. And I'm like I said before, it's like if a man can have control of his body, what can a woman? However, there is a limit to it. Like if you just keep doing it, and
Yeah,
just
so if you're like, oops, I got pregnant, and then you do that, and it's like your fourth one,
yeah, that
problem.
yeah, yeah,
Problem.
I would yes. Then
If
you
it
can
was a happy accident, as some people would call it, then it's like different story. Or you were at a bar and you let the alcohol get to you a little too much.
or if you're like your
Just
protection fails because it
yeah,
does happen.
that happens, especially if you take antibiotics.
Yeah, and if you don't realize it, or if you drink while you're on said antibiotic, they don't work anyway.
Exactly.
So that's one thing. But it's like repeatedly doing it, you're just a psychopath.
I wouldn't say
Or
psychopath. It's just one of those.
you're dumb.
Why? I
Yeah,
mean, just why keep doing that?
because like I'm for per choice to a point, but if you just want to keep doing it, you're just hurting you're just hurting your body.
But I'm pro. So, like, if you watch House,
Okay.
you get a lot of moments where House is like, this person is stupid and is making the wrong choice and will kill them.
Yeah, that's why House is better than Grey's Anatomy. Unpopular opinion.
Um, yeah, I mean, I agree, but
Oh, so side note, the only reason why Grey's Anatomy is better, why most people think Grey's Anatomy is better than House is because Grey's Anatomy has better looking people. There,
and
I
it's
said
also
it.
written more like a soap opera,
Yes.
and that's defeats the point. Where House was actually like, it was a
It's
twist on the investigation genre.
yeah, it was they actually like
They were
wrote it
actually
from
like
the back.
trying to solve a dilemma, and instead of murders, like they have 1.5 million shows on,
We need more shows
it's
like House, to be honest with you, with
like
some
more.
scientific.
Okay, so there is a show called The Good Doctor. Okay,
That's pretty good, yeah.
I very much like that show specifically because the main character is autistic, like
Yes.
severely autistic, and it shows him having a career and a life, and he's spoiler, he gets a girlfriend, and it's like, hey, guy's super autistic, and he's still having a normal life.
Okay, so I'm gonna say something. If you make fun of somebody with autism, I'm destroying you because that you are a piece of fucking garbage. Sorry, kids. That's just a fucking um. That's a nerve for me. Most of my friends are autistic. Some of my kids are autistic. If you make fun of a kid with autism or someone with autism, you deserve to have your ass kicked. That's just
Okay,
the way it is.
if it's in like good faith and the person's consenting to the gentle ribbing, yes, go for shit.
Well, they're consenting when they make fun of my kid for being autistic.
Well, no, I'm talking about like, so we have Autism's Prime. We call him that because he's consented to being called Autism's Prime.
Yes.
It's an autism joke. He knows he's part of the joke. He gets it. He's mentally there enough to be able to tell the difference.
By the way, autism is prime. Donkey Kong is better than Banjo Kazooie. I'm sorry. Sorry, bro.
Banjo Kazooie is a garbage game, and I'm not apologizing for that.
Anyway, continue.
I may be put down immediately for that, but I'm not apologizing.
I agree. You know
It is
what's better than
such
Donkey
a
Kong?
crappy Metroid.
You know what's a better game than Donkey Kong and
Metroid
Super
Prime.
Mario. No. Conquer 64. You ever see? Have you ever
Okay,
seen
I haven't
Conquer?
played a lot of the 64 games.
Okay, so one time, I'm just going to be like, "Hey, we're playing this," and you're gonna be like, "What the hell?" And yeah,
Okay. Not gonna make me mad.
let's just say it's gonna be very R-rated recording.
As opposed to our normally just happy, blissful recordings.
But no, we're trying to get some we're trying to get some like things going.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
here's the thing. If we're gonna get things going, and then all of a sudden we have to like urge stop, because young people.
honestly, I think some of these young people need to hear this.
To a point. It's not. So like I was talking about toxic masculinity or something like that. It's a middle ground area. Because there's some topics that's not us. That's not ours to talk about. I mean, we could talk about it, but I mean,
We'll have to. Well, it'll force the parents to talk about it.
if you're prepared for said conversation and said fallout of the conversation, sure.
Like me and my ex-wife, who is like my best friend. That sounds weird. She is.
Screw you, man. Screw you, man.
They say marry your best friend. I did, and we just didn't want to.
Marry your best friend. I did it. Sucked.
No, I mean like we got married, and she's my best friend, but it just didn't work out. We're best friends without living together. Let's just say that.
Okay, fair.
Like we had one special lady, and we're always upfront and honest with her. And just like, hey, why is this like this? And we're just going to be like, because people are dumb, baby. It's just like, and it's just like the whole George Floyd thing. It's like we were going through the divorce there, the George Floyd thing, and she asked about it. It's like, why is everybody hurting this man on TV? And I just straight up said, some people are really mean and they don't care. You have to
Okay.
watch out for. It's like some people you just have to watch out for them. And that's why we're here. You know what I mean? It's just like
Okay.
we explain things on her level, but we don't sugarcoat it. If that makes any sense.
Fair.
Yeah.
See, I
So-
don't get that. I never got that lucky because I grew up during 9/11. So I'm part of the post 9/11 generation where we basically got brainwashed that everyone in the Middle East is bad and out there to blow us up. Then you go to college and see some freaking Saudis, and you're just like, is it racist to be concerned about him blowing me up? No, no, yeah. Oh, it is racist. Cool. Guess I'll stop then.
It wasn't racist now. It's racist.
Okay,
It wasn't
at the
racist
time,
then, it's racist
at the
now.
time,
Yeah.
it wasn't racist to be concerned
Now-
about someone wearing a turban or any of that, especially traditional Saudi garb. First time I saw that,
Right.
I almost lost my shit because, like, when you grow up with they're bad, they blew us up. That's why we're in the Middle East. It's because people like him.
No.
Or you watch the news and ISIS is dressed. Actually, it wasn't ISIS. It was the Taliban. Is dressed in their frickin' garb. Yeah.
I never believed any of that. I like call me like whatever.
I'm gonna make
But
you feel old, but I was 6 when 9/11 happened.
I was old was I? That was 2001, right?
Yeah.
I was 19. I was living with my girlfriend at that point.
Yeah.
And
So
Mom.
like you were an adult and you could vote on stuff. I was not. I was well from it, and I literally sat in. They had an assembly where they basically went, the U.S. is great. We've never been invaded. And then as I grow up, I'm like, wrong. 1812. We have been invaded several times. If you want to count Pearl Harbor, that's a naval invasion.
So real quick, I got invited to a tournament in Japan. Say, I'm doing that. It's Friday at 5 a.m., so I'm doing that as well. I'll
It's
be
like it's
streaming.
in Japan? Oh, okay, so it's in Japan.
Yes, in Japan. I think it might be Korean, but I don't know. Anyway, so the whole 9/11 thing. Do I think it was an inside job? That's yet to be. We'll never get the answer to that. We just won't. Kind of like aliens.
Does it really matter at this point? Even if it was an inside job, what the hell are we
It
gonna do?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter then because
What are you gonna do? Rise up against the government? Obviously, they're well equipped enough to blow up towers and make it look like someone else.
so you think it was an inside job. Let's discuss this. I know we can't do anything about it.
Okay,
because
so
we're just
here's the thing.
peanuts.
I don't care. I don't care if it's an inside job at this point. It's been 15 years. We've gone and blown up half the Middle East because of it. At this point, it doesn't matter.
No, we blew half the Middle East because they want that oil.
Yeah, I honestly, my grandfather's convinced Bush did it because he wanted to finish what his dad started. Makes
Well,
some
that makes
sense.
sense.
Makes some sense.
Yeah.
Okay. My dad, however, is one of those Alex Jones loving jet fuel can't melt steel beams type people, and I'm just like,
Your
have
dad
you?
also tried it. Your dad also set up your first girlfriend, bro. I mean, think about it.
Kind of. He forced me into the date.
Yeah.
So okay, that's a different story.
Yeah,
But, and here's my retort to the melted steel beams. Some of them are melted, some of them are bent.
Right.
Now, what can jet fuel that burns at 2,000 something degrees do to steel when the critical temperature for steel is 1550?
Bend.
Melt. Because when you get something past the metal past its melt or its critical point, it starts to break down. That's why we take when we make swords, we take it to 1550 because that's the critical point, and then when we quench it, we realign the atoms. But if you leave it in the fire,
it's eventually going to melt.
It's eventually going to melt. Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
Everybody that I've talked to says there wasn't enough time for the steel to melt. Yes and no. Structural. So, like, when you ram a plane into metal, the metal is going to be fractured.
Right.
So then you apply heat to it, those fractures expand, and you have a critical failure.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. That makes sense.
So it's like not just jet fuel, it's a combination of 2-ton missile flying into plane plus jet fuel. Now, that's based on my limited knowledge of blacksmithing. Not an expert blacksmith. It makes some sense to think that way, but, you know, it's...
I mean, here's the thing. I think next time we play League and we're with
the Moron Brigade.
The Moron Brigade. We should ask him specifically because he's into like whole engineering stuff, and he's insanely smart. He's like IQ is like 160 or something like that. So he would
suck
know.
it. I have 180.
He would know, especially because he pays attention to shit like that.
So, I've googled some stuff of this. So it's like, what temperature does jet fuel burn at? And like, actually Google that real quick if you can.
What am I doing?
The burning temperature of jet fuel.
Okay.
Now remember, we know that the critical temperature for steel is 1550.
You said burning tip for jet fuel.
Yes.
Jet fuel flash point is 38 degrees Celsius. Audio ignition is 210 degrees Celsius.
So we need to convert 210 into Fahrenheit.
Okay. 410.
It burns hotter than that, though, doesn't it?
This is it. 410.
Citicobra.
See, jet fuel. Here we go.
Citicobra.
There was something here about when it melted. Okay.
Citicobra.
Flash point is 100 degrees. Auto ignition temperature is 410. Freezing point is -47. Max automatic burn temperature is 2,232 degrees.
There we go. So the max burn temperature is hot enough to melt. Is hot enough to get steel to the critical temperature point.
Right.
At which point you can do basically anything with it. Bend it, twist it, hit it with a hammer.
Steel melting temp. Melting point of what type of steel are we talking about? There's a lot of.
So that one, because it's structural,
Citicobra.
would have been probably 1080.
Citicobra.
Because there's carbon, stainless, tantalum, thorium.
Okay, so it would have been
There's
stainless
46
steel.
more.
So
Stainless?
yeah, so no, it would have been a carbon steel because 42.
Stainless steel is 1,500.
Yeah. So what's carbon steel? Because that's probably what they would have used.
Carbon steel is 1,425 to 1,540.
Exactly.
Citicobra.
Oh, that's Celsius. Fahrenheit is
Which makes it even hotter.
2,600.
Okay. So 2,600 degrees to melt it. We know it takes 1,500 just to get it to bend.
Right? So they're probably bent. Then melted.
Look up the images of 9/11 wreckage.
Twin Towers?
Yeah.
Here we go. That's the world. That's the controlled one. Oh, here we go. They look. Some look burnt. Like most of them look bent. Here's another one. Yeah, they look burnt. Let's see. No, these are bent. These are bent like a motherfucker. Sorry, kids, but these are bent. They're twisted and bent.
Yep.
So they
I've
weren't
gotten
even,
into literal shouting matches over that. Because it's
Yeah,
like,
these are-
look it up. They're bent.
Yeah. There's a picture right here. It's like a bending thing right in the middle of it, and they're bent upwards.
Now here's
So-
the thing. When you take a building that's perfectly straight, ram a plane into the steel, which bends it.
Yeah.
Okay. The plane slamming into sections of it will bend the steel. Okay.
Right.
Then heat it up. You only have to heat it up on one side to drop a building.
I just saw a theory
Citicobra.
that it could have been possible aluminum.
Aluminum.
Yes. Because the outside would have made it something like lightweight.
So they wouldn't have used. Okay, so fun fact: big towers are designed to bend to the wind blasting it. That way they don't break apart as easy.
Right.
So there could have been aluminum siding,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
but aluminum. I don't see where the aluminum. I don't think there would have been an aluminum mix into the steel.
Well, you never would have thought a giant plane would be crashing into the side of the building either.
Well, they didn't, and they kind of had to rethink the security procedures for that building, seeing as in
Twin Towers.
when was it?
aluminum.
93 they tried to blow it up?
City Cobra.
That was Oklahoma.
No, the Taliban tried to blow up the Twin Towers before.
City Cobra.
Right.
Fun fact. So
Okay, I'm gonna read this article.
City Cobra.
where's it written from?
The Metal Miner. It's
Okay.
it's like a legit thing.
Okay. Check your sources, or check
It's,
his sources, their sources.
Associated Press.
Okay.
Structural steel beams. Here's an interesting new theory. Blah 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 blah. Okay. All the floors in the Twin Towers were equipped with a sprinkler system. All the water above the hot aircraft bodies may have turned on to steam. If my theory is correct, tons of aluminum ran down through the towers, where the smoke came into the contact with a few hundred liters of water. So basically what he's saying is they heated up and cooled off real quick. And they just snapped.
Oh yeah, it could have created martensite.
Yeah.
And martensite is incredibly fragile.
Yeah, and this was an article by
Okay,
Popular
so
Mechanic.
there is a way to tell. You would have to look at the grain structure of the steel. Which, obviously, very hard to do, seeing as that is now sacred material.
Okay, so here's something else in the same article that says, and this supports what you were saying about the steel. Steel loses about 50% of its strength at 1100 degrees.
Yeah.
If it was at 1800 degrees, it was less than 10%.
And here's the thing. You can stick steel into a preheated forge, and that sucker will glow in maybe 5 minutes. Okay, that's a little bar of steel, like inch-round bar of steel. From what I remember, and I have to remember this properly because it's been 20 years now.
Okay.
After the first tower was hit, it was about 23 to 40 minutes before the second one, or before they started falling.
Give or take, yeah.
Now, do I remember everything? No. I was 6. I don't remember everything.
No, okay, so I'm gonna give you a time frame. So I live 20 minutes away by bus.
Okay.
Okay. That day, I remember getting paid for my job, and when I left my house at this time, I jumped on the bus, and one lady's like, "Did you hear? One plane, struck the Twin Towers," and I was like, you know, the first thing you're like 19-year-old kid or 21-year-old kid, and you're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Language.
And, my bad.
Get a
Sorry.
swore.
I'm 19. Anyway, so I'm just thinking, okay, no problem. They'll take care of it. We'll get investigate big or whatever. And from my house to Target was 20 minutes by bus. I'm in the store maybe 10 minutes because I'm looking at a Slipknot POD CD, thinking which one I'm going to buy. And I look up, and people are screaming, like in the store, that another plane hit. And I looked up, and there was a plane hitting. So it was probably about half hour. I remember that day like the back of my hand. I woke up feeling something was just wrong. And I was just like, everything's okay. I got a cute girlfriend. I'm getting paid. I got a full-time job. I'm taking care of my mom. Everything's good. And that was it.
Okay, I'm doing a Google. Timeline. Okay. So 9:03.
Yeah.
The first tower got hit. 9:59, the same tower collapses. So 56 minutes it got to sit there after the hit, it got to sit there and cook.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was in,
When did the second one hit? Because that's gonna affect everything too.
second plane hit.
The North
Towers.
Tower crashes in EDC.
New timeline. Okay, here we go. Timeline. Come on. Continue silent.
Okay, so 8:46, the North Tower crashed. A 9:03, the second one hit.
Yes.
Which would have the shock of that being that the towers were nearby. Some of that could have rippled over because that's how shock works.
Yeah.
South Tower collapsed, but it was hit lower. And then the North Tower collapsed about an hour after it was hit.
Yeah, sounds about right.
By the way, they have enough jet fuel on those things. Now, we do have to keep in mind that it came from Boston and flew to New York.
That's not that far, really.
That's not that far realistically, but we still have to account for fuel consumption up to that point. But if it was full, how much fuel can a 747 carry?
A lot. A lot.
No, Google it.
Oh. Okay, we're doing nerd thing. So, by the way, kids, you'll get a daily dose of this every episode. Because we're nerds and we have to figure shit out.
And we're also autistic, which means we obsess.
So, 747.
Fuel payload, I do believe is what they call it.
Boeing said how much fuel?
Should be a couple 100 gallons.
238,600 liters of fuel.
Yeah, now imagine that flooding and being lit on fire.
Okay.
And then being cooled.
Okay. You're going to love this. So a Boeing 747 jet airliner model series 100 to 400, which is what was used, can hold approximately 48,000 to 63,000 gallons of U.S. jet fuel.
So let's take 48,000 gallons of jet fuel, which we've already told can burn hot enough to melt steel, and let it cook for an hour. For 53 minutes, because that's how long the South Tower got.
Yeah, because...
By the way, a forge you use to do steel with can heat up in a half hour.
Give or take, yeah.
So... Okay. How is 9/11 an inside job? Because, by the way, what else would they have used?
So I got some good news for you, Mr. Oak. Your sliver jet just got stronger and cheaper.
Oh, I like it.
The Sliver Legion went from $80 to $23.73.
Ooh, and right after I get a tax bill. Like,
you got one of those too?
I seriously got a letter from the state tax commission that was like, you owe us $165. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, I got one for like 500. I'm like, why?
Jesus Christ.
Anyway,
and that's my question. That's weird, by the way.
So anyway,
I don't think where we work was taking out enough taxes from our paycheck.
They weren't. I guarantee you they weren't.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I have to go to the restroom. That's a good stopping point about the 9/11 thing.
So, kids, was 9/11 an inside job based on temperatures and exposure time? Probably not.
So this is why nerds are cool, and you shouldn't bully nerds because we can figure shit out like this in like 5 seconds.
Oh, and by the way, we're also the guys that would probably do shit like that.
Yeah. Anyway, have fun, stay safe,
be good to each other.
Yeah, because we're not assholes. If we're assholes, the world will be assholes. We don't want that.
Fair enough.
Anyway, stay safe. We love you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to you guys later.
Bye bye.